This was a post I found on Noster from Cypherpunk, and I think it's incredibly relevant kind of where things are right now, how we should be thinking about this stuff. Because you turn on the news, I don't know how many people watch the news still, but if you open your phone, there's in a lot of different countries around the world, there's a lot of protests happening right now. And some of them are effective. Like they actually managed to cause some real harm in Nepal against their government. So some of it's effective, but that's not really a protest, I don't think. That's more of a revolution. But if you're just standing on the side of the road like a dipshit with a sign, it is useless. It is absolutely useless. You're more of a joke than doing something. So here's the post from today. Protesting is useless. The most effective thing to do is cause bank runs by withdrawing money from the bank or indefinite strikes or both, but the NPC doesn't have the courage to do that. And I don't like the term NPC because again, we're all human beings. That's it. Some have discovered the truth a little sooner than others. Some have discovered that the money's broken a little earlier than others. But we're all just human beings here. So I don't like that part of the post, but I agree with the concept of it. It says there's a lot of protests, but when it comes to putting the livelihoods on the line, they're a bunch of cowards. So just think about that. Think about how easy that is to do. I know it's not something you can snap your fingers and do instantly, but I do think that it is something that people really underestimate how powerful that would be. Is if everybody just went down to the, and I'm not calling for this because I don't want to get in any sort of trouble, but I feel like that's a much more peaceful way of doing things. It is just simply opting out. Opt out financially. Take your money out of the bank, even if you have to hold it in cash, if you want to keep some fiat around. Hold Bitcoin. So you can opt out financially. You can opt out mentally by watching shows like this instead of the news. Spending time on Nostr versus Twitter. Watching a Bitcoin documentary about Bitcoiners in South Africa instead of watching Fox News. You can decide every second of every single day, you get to vote. You get to vote with your attention and your time and your energy. And so if you don't want anything, if you want something to not exist anymore, don't give it any sort of power. Don't look at it. Don't hold your money there. Don't buy their products. You have the ability to do that. Going down to the polls and writing somebody's name on a piece of paper does fuck all for anybody. It is literally the adult equivalent of writing a letter to Santa Claus. That's what voting does. But you do have the actual ability to protest peacefully with your time, with your capital, and with your attention. So you get to choose every second of every day. You get to choose. Your decisions affect your reality. So start thinking about this. As small as it seems, you compound anything over a long enough time frame, it's going to add up to something. And if enough people stop paying attention to the bullshit out there, it's going to disappear because the only thing giving it life is your energy. And even protesting, you're giving that system more energy by protesting. You could simply say, okay, I'm taking my fiat out of the bank. I'm going to store it in cash. I'm going to hold Bitcoin. I'm going to geographically disperse my keys, encrypt them so that even if somebody came to my door, they couldn't get my Bitcoin. That's powerful. You can opt out mentally by just stop paying attention to all this bullshit and choose to learn, choose to support people who are speaking the truth, speaking logically. And finally, you can withdraw physically. You can leave. You don't have to stay where you are. You don't like your country? Find a different one. I know it's not easy. These aren't easy things, but that's part of it. That's the whole point. So protest with your time, your energy, your capital, and just make small decisions throughout your day that has a positive impact on your life and in the world. Frequency is good here. The green light frequency.